Okay, quick video on on Doom Dark Ages, but also on a few other games that I thought were interesting that were shown yesterday. So Dark Ages. Honestly, this one feels like it was supposed to be something else. Either either Quake or Hexen Heretic. Actually, if you remember, not too long ago, Spencer will often like present on the stage at various events or shows, sporting I think it was a Hexen shirt. He did it at least 2 times, and he usually doesn't do this at random. There's a reason he does that. So I fully believe this game was supposed to be either like I said, a Hexen or a Quake, because honestly, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't say anything to me. This game doesn't feel like Doom needed a chapter with this setting, with this atmosphere. Yeah, I know it's a prequel. It takes place between Doom 64 and Doom 2016. This is pretty much the Slayer's origin story in this universe. But I don't know, it just doesn't feel like... It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but... I don't know. I don't think we needed another Doom. Especially one with this setting. And I mean, looking at the gameplay, definitely seems closer to 16 than Eternal. So it's definitely slower paced. In that sense. So people who liked 16 and didn't like Eternal will be happy, I guess. But honestly, it's whatever. I can't get excited without seeing more about the combat, because they really didn't show much. The combat, the enemies, the levels, and all that stuff. But I don't know. I think it would have been better, like I said, if it was another franchise. But obviously, they're not gonna produce and work 5 years on a game that's not called Doom nowadays, because Doom is pretty much the only FPS that he has that sells. Maybe Quake, maybe, but it doesn't have the same recognition. And even less Hexen or Heretic. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll see how it comes out when it comes out, but definitely I don't feel particularly excited about this one. It's better to have it, but yeah, I can live without it as well. I think it was a good occasion to put Doom to rest for a little and then work on some other franchise that deserved a little bit of spotlight. But what can you do? Mass market, you always have to make the big bucks. So smaller franchises don't get the spotlight anymore, really. So then the other interesting game was the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. And I mean, there's not much to say here. It's just Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. I think it's made in a Real Engine 5. So the characters do look a bit odd, especially the boss. Like she looks, how can I say, a bit more manly in this game. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes, but it should be serviceable. I mean, what I care the most about this game is the gameplay. Hopefully, it's relatively faithful to Phantom Pain with some tweaks here and there. Because, I mean, Phantom Pain, I think it was a very fun game in terms of gameplay loop. So hopefully they managed to polish it up here a little bit. Uh, and don't hopefully don't mess too much with the original vision the game had, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is a really good game. So hopefully they do it justice. Even though if it was me, I would have given this game to Blue Point Games rather than the studio they chose, because I don't know who are these guys. What have they done before this? I'm not sure. I mean, fingers crossed. Hopefully the game is okay, because I would like to play another Metal Gear, even if it's just a remake. After all this time, yeah, it's been almost 10 years since Phantom Pain, so we'll see. And the last game I thought was interesting was Gears of War E Emergency Day. I used to be a pretty big Gears of War fan back in the day, but I stopped caring about the franchise after the third game. And I honestly, it feels like this game should have been made a long time ago. Feels like this is the game that should have been made instead of Judgment. This should have been like the common sense option to develop after the trilogy was done. So a prequel that shows how the war started. But no. And I mean, it's very telling that they have waited so long to make it. I guess they cut themselves, they cornered themselves with the new trilogy, which I haven't played because honestly, I don't know, it just doesn't look appealing to me, especially for the female lead. That honestly, in Gears of War, a female lead feels like a very dumb choice to me. But because I mean, the franchise has always been the stereotypical military military shooter with the military setting and the cynical writing. That's very like reminiscent of the 80s and 90s movie. Like if you look at Gears of War 1, the dialogues between the Marcus, Dom, Baird, and Cole kind of remind you of the Marines in Aliens, for example. So that kind of snarky, fun, cynical dialogues, which has also some sense of humor to it. And also, I mean, the Emergency Day was a pretty dark period in the story of Gears of War, so we'll see how they manage to portray it, because I don't think the coalition has it in them to make a Gears of War with the gritty aesthetics and extreme violence like the first 3 games were. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, because I mean, it would be nice to have to get another Gears that feels like one of the originals. But I don't know, I just find it funny, because if you watch the trailer, you see that a single drone was fucking Marcus. He was fucking him up. He was beating the shit out of him. Like, Marcus is one of the strongest guys in the Gears universe, and he was getting his shit beat out of him by a simple drone, a regular Locust soldier. So it will be interesting to see what they do with this game, because also if I remember correctly, Marcus during Emergency Day, Marcus abandons his post and goes to save his father which is also what gets him arrested and then sentenced to how many years? I don't remember, but I think 5 or 10 years in prison for treason. So yeah, it's pretty much boom, emergency day, and Marcus gets arrested. So it will be interesting to see what they do with the story in this game. And also in retrospect, looking, like I said, at Marcus getting his ass beaten, how in Gears of War 3 the females were pretty much able to go toe to toe with the Locusts, even though, like I said, the Locusts are physically stronger than even humans, so even human males that are beefed up, full of muscles. Yeah, very funny. But I mean, I guess you can treat the females in Gears of War 3 as just skins. But yeah, we'll see what they make with this game, what they make out of this. But I don't think now today's Microsoft has it in them to develop a game that is gritty and full of testosterone and swearing and violence. They just don't have it in them. I'll be happy to be proven wrong, because like I said, Gears of War, especially Gears of War 1, was one of my favorite games back in the day. It was a special time and was a very fun game, even though it's very simple. But the co-op, the online, the online was so fucking fun in Gears of War. But yeah, hopefully they don't fuck it up, but I don't have much faith in it. Other than that, I don't know. Fable, Fable, I don't know. I have to see more. Also because it seems like the female protagonist, the ugly female protagonist, which they have touched up a little bit. Now she's a little bit more watchable, a little bit less hideous. She will be the protagonist. And I mean, I've seen people online keep saying that Fable as a character creator. No, Fable has never had a character creator. Fable 1 didn't have a character creator. Fable 2 didn't have either, and neither did Fable 3. So I don't know where this notion of Fable having a character creator came from. But yeah. Hopefully, at least you will be able to play with a guy character at least. But I don't know. It seems like they're hell-bent on forcing you to play with this thing they made. And also, I don't know, because Playground Games hasn't really made much more than Forza, so they are an unproven studio, so they have to prove themselves when it comes to a gameplay style different than a racing game. I don't have faith in it. Like I said, I don't think the game would be particularly good. Then I mean, Perfect Dark. Yeah, Perfect Dark. Honestly, I was never a big fan of Perfect Dark. But what they have shown seems pretty detached from the original IP. And so you gotta wonder why did you even make a game called Perfect Dark that has nothing to do with Perfect Dark? I mean, it's not like it's a very popular franchise. Barely any people even know about it anymore at this point. So they might as well have made a new IP, which probably would have been better in my opinion. But honestly, it looks pretty generic. It looks like Deus Ex. And also the gameplay kind of looks fake, but it doesn't look like the type of gameplay that will be like that one on release. So I don't know. I don't really care in a way. But yeah, at least there were a few games that were interesting. So I guess I can't complain too much because usually there's nothing in these shows for me. So much so that I don't even watch them anymore. I've stopped watching these fucking shows because they are, one, they are cringe, two, they're a waste of time. Because you can just watch the announcements after the show is over. So, that's how I do it nowadays. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about the games. What do you think about them? What games you like that have been announced? And all that stuff. And also, yeah, subscribe, like, and all that interesting and useful stuff. But yeah, have a good night, guys. Bye bye.